Okay, so I've talked a bit about why I don't think it's a good idea to limp. And by limp, I mean, so there's the big blind, right? So there's the big blind, small blind, big blind. Limping is simply calling the big blind, not raising, just flat calling, okay? Um, I generally think that's not advised. I recommend if you want to enter the pot, raising to three times the big blind, or if there's a limper in front of you, four times the big blind, or two limpers, five times the big blind, right? Um, doesn't have to be that exact number, but that's what I go with. And the reason there's a few reasons I recommend this. So let's break up hands into two categories. Let's say good hands you think are objectively going to be the best hand at the table, and then hands you're bluffing with, hands you don't think are the best hand, but you're going to try to make a bluff at this play. There's two ways you win. Number one is you win at showdown, you have the best hand, and the other way is everybody else folds, right? So obviously, if you're bluffing, you kind of want that second one. If you have the best hand, you want people to call you and have worse hands and get paid off. But if everybody else folds, you still win the hand, right? Okay, so let's take a scenario where you have a good hand. Okay, pocket jacks. Okay, so one reason that you want to raise when you have a good hand is just the simplest. You're trying to make money, right? You can make money two different ways pretty much immediately by raising. One is you're attacking the blinds, right? So one outcome of this is that just the blinds fold and you pick up 75 cents uncontested. Well, there you go. The other way you make money is you get a call and you go to the flop. And okay, not a great flop. There is an overcard, but you're only up against one person. So as long as he doesn't have a king, you are okay. Maybe you continue for I don't know, maybe 75 cents. Maybe even $1. I might go with $1 here, but in any case, then you get a call and you go to the turn, and hopefully you win because you have the best hand, right? So when you win hands, you want there to be money in the pot, right? You don't want to win just nothing, right? So that's one reason. The other reason is that let's say you limp in with a good hand, in this case pocket jacks. You limp in, and well, what are you doing to the button here? Or we're in the cutoff here for this hypothetical. You're giving the cutoff better odds to also limp in, right? They're only risking 50 cents to win potentially 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 25 to win $1.75, whereas they were previously risking 50 to win $1.25. So you gave them better odds to call. Okay, and yeah, maybe the small blind's going to call too. Okay, well, you just created a four-way pot. Now look at this flop again. There's one overcard to your jacks. Heads up, decent odds that you avoid your opponent having a king. Against three people, the odds that one of your opponents has a king just went significantly up. And you might say, well, but multi-way pot's going to be good because I'm still going to win some of the time, and look, there's more money in the pot. Well, let's compare that. Once again, let's say you'd raise to $1.50. Well, first, let's count how much is here. So currently we got 50, 50, 50, 50. That's $2, right? Okay, if I raise to $1.50 and go back to the scenario where small blind's out, button's out, but the big blind calls, how much is in the pot? Well, you got $1.50, that makes $3.25. So there's already more money in, right? Because we raised, right? So once again, if you have a good hand, you want there to be money in the pot, right? Because you're hoping to win, right? Now, why you want to bet big if you're intending to bluff, let's use a different hand here. Let's say that this is your starting hand, 5-4 suited. So this is like this is a suited connector. This is the perfect hand to do something funny with. So okay, back to pre-flop. pretend these cards aren't here. So you wake up with 5-4 suited, and you opt to just limp, right? Okay. Well, probably the button's in, probably the small blind is in. And I've said previously, suited connectors, if you're going to play multi-way, suited connectors are actually, not bad hands to have. Here's the problem, though. Flop comes out, it comes 3, king, 7, okay? So you have a gut shot, right? You have a 6 will give you a straight. Another spade on the turn will give you a flush draw, too. So, this is a playable board. The problem is you limped pre-flop. So then the action comes around to you, and you decide you're going to bet. You're hoping to induce a fold, or I don't know, maybe 75 cents. You're bluffing. You want the other guys to fold. But the problem is you didn't bet, you didn't raise pre-flop. You're not signaling strength from your hand, right? When you're bluffing, you're trying to convince everybody else at the table that you have a good hand. You are not selling your hand, right? So this just looks weird. Like limping, and then all of a sudden, oh, wow, and betting big. It doesn't tell a convincing story. It doesn't say, oh, I have ace king, right? That's what they'd be scared of on this board, right? They're scared somebody has ace king, and now they have top pair, top kicker, right? Putting 50 cents in and then 75 cents after the flop does not scream, I have ace king, right? So people are going to be less likely to want to fold, right? Because you limped, and now you're trying to just buy the pot, and it's not telling a convincing story. So yeah, I would say those are kind of the two scenarios. Either way, you want to get the aggression started, right? If you have a good hand, you want to be aggressive because, after all, you're trying to win money, right? So you want more money in the pot. If you have a hand you want to bluff with, well, get bluffing, right? Start bluffing now, right? In fact, best case scenario for a bluff, right, is pre-flop. You raise to $1.50, and small blind and the big blind fold. You pick up 75 cents uncontested. I gotta get my kid.